Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can see, I am filming my blush slash bronzer collection. So I have so much more sitting off camera at the moment, if you're wondering. But yeah, I've been doing a couple of these videos. So I've done my eyeshadow collection. I have filmed my highlighting collection as well. And in the comment section of those videos, you guys were commenting saying you'd like to see more of my collection and sort of more videos like this. So I decided to go ahead and make this one. So I just want to say thank you so much for your support on my channel and your comments. It really does mean a lot to me. And, you know, I love to hear from you guys and what you guys are interested in seeing and, you know, making an effort to create that content for you. So as always, thank you so much for joining me on my videos. I do appreciate your love and support. And yeah, if you want to see what my collection of bronzers slash blushes look like, then please keep on watching. Alright, so I thought we would start off, I'm going to do this by brand. So I thought I'd start off with my Benefit collection. So straight up we have got the Hoola Light bronzer on top here. Now I purchased this when it very first came out. I really love this bronzer. As you can see, I'm sort of starting to make a little bit of a dip in the pan, just ever so slightly. But this is just a really great bronzer for anybody who is you know, quite pale or light in skin tone. So it is very buildable, but it's also, as you can see, it's very light as well. So I really do enjoy this formula. The next one I have is a liquid, oh, I suppose it's a stick really, not liquid, but it's more of like a cream sort of bronzer. And this is their Hoola bronzer, they're the original. And I have to say, I really like this product. So it's not obviously as light as what Hoola Light is, clearly. However, I do find that this blends out really beautifully. It just blends out seamlessly. It's just gorgeous. Especially if I'm more, you know, if I've got a fake tan happening or something, or I'm just basically wanting to bronze up my face in general. You know, I find this is a really great option for that. And yeah, look, as you can see, it's a really lovely color and it blends out just so easily. So yeah, very happy with this product. Okay, and so finally for my Benefit collection, I have got their Cheek Parade palette. Now this came out, I'm going to say about 18 months ago. I purchased this initially because I thought, you know what, this is going to be such a great traveling item. I thought, you know, I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. Turns out I don't travel with it anywhere near as much as what I thought I would, but I guess that's always the case for stuff like this and how I convince myself to buy things, I suppose. But this one here contains the Hoola Light bronzer, the traditional original Hoola bronzer, the California blush, the Dandelion blush, and the Rockateur, it's like a blush topper slash highlight. Okay, so this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's all pretty standard. The only thing that makes me sad about these palettes is the fact that they include this brush. As you can see, I've still left it in the original packaging. I never use those brushes. I don't know why they include them, but they seem to in every palette. But I'll just do a couple of quick swatches for you just to show you guys. So that's the Hoola, the original Hoola. Still great pigmentation. The Dandelion blush, really pretty, really pretty pinky color. One thing I do find with these is that they're all really blendable. So this is the California. As you can see, it's a much more pink color. So putting that next to the Dandelion, very significantly different. The Dandelion's very, I'll just put some more on. As you can see, it is buildable, but it's far more of like a softer sort of blush to the cheek that you would achieve with this, whereas with the California you really can take it there and get that, you know, really flushed look if that's what you're desiring. And then finally the little Rockateur. This is more of like, see, I personally would never wear this as a highlighter, so I think I'm just gonna slide it on in here. It's more of like a see how it's got like sort of it's kind of, I don't know if you can tell, it's kind of like shimmery there, maybe just a little bit you can see in the lighting. My lighting is, I'm still trying to work all that out since I've moved, guys, so I do apologize. It's probably not the best at the moment, but you can see that sort of shimmery finish. So if you're somebody that really likes a shimmery blush, then that might be the way to go. Personally, if it was me, what I like to do is I combine Dandelion and the Rocketeer together. I think it just gives you a really beautiful sheen to the cheek, and it's still quite light as well. So that would be a really great option for you as well. All right, up next we have NARS. Now, as you can see, I do have quite the collection happening here. I really do love this brand. I think they just make some absolutely fantastic quality products. So first up, we have got the Liquid Laguna, their original bronzer. So this I actually purchased to mix in with some of my foundations, and particularly through summer if I do find that they're a little bit on the lighter side. So this is what it looks like. It's very, very liquidy, which I really like. Beautiful color to it, and if you can see, it sort of reflects almost like a gold sort of shimmer to it. It's just beautiful. I really, really love that bronzer, especially for like as a liquid bronzer. I think as to mix it into your foundations and that, I think it's just beautiful on the skin. Sticking with the liquid theme, I have this liquid blush. Now, I'm not usually one for liquid blushes. Now, this is in the shade Orgasm. Again, the classic blush that they have. So for me personally, I don't, oh, see, you can tell I haven't used this for a while because it's come out quite thick there. Ugh. So with this, I'm just going to remove that because that's obviously a bit of product that's dried in the tube. That's the one thing I will say about these products in particular, same for the liquid bronzer, and that is that when you do use it, a little bit of the product will get trapped into this little dispenser here, and when that happens, as you saw just before, it dries. So a little bit disappointing when that happens because obviously it's a waste of product. But I have to say with this, you just need the smallest amount because this is just, you can see right now how far one pump will go. You don't even need one pump. You don't even need really half of one pump to achieve the blush sort of look that you'd be after. I think, you know, half of what I just used on both cheeks would be more than enough. But as you can see, it really is just this beautiful, beautiful color. It's got gorgeous gold reflex in the pink. It's just stunning. So if you are somebody that does like a cream formula or like a liquid blush formula, then this is definitely for you. I tend to go for something like this on the days that I'm looking for more of like a natural slash like dewier skin finish. That's typically when I go for more of my cream slash liquid products, because I just find that it really does help to achieve that sort of, you know, dewy, natural sort of look. But yeah, absolutely beautiful blush. Okay, so up next we have this one. Now, this is the, it's Hot Sand slash Laguna, so in like the stick form. So this is the Laguna side. I'll just show you guys. I personally am not a fan of this product. So I find it's a little bit on the patchier side, and I just don't get, like whenever I apply it to my skin as well on top of foundation, I feel like it actually removes the foundation, which really disappoints me. I don't think it's anything like the Hoola stick bronzer from Benefit. I really, really like the Hoola stick Benefit formula, but this one here, it's just, yeah, it removes my foundation, which just makes me so sad. And again, as you can see, like this highlight is the Hot Sands highlight's beautiful, really, really beautiful color. But again, it does the same thing. It just removes my foundation. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this product. I honestly never reach for it anymore because it's just a pain to work with. The only way that I've really been able to get it to I suppose work properly is, firstly, I have to apply it to my finger and then sort of, work it in and finesse it into the skin from there. So, I mean, you're like, yes, you can use it, but it's a lot, more time consuming. And, I don't, when I've got something like the Hoola one that I can go straight over my foundation with, I'm really not going to be bothered to, apply this in a particular way because I just don't think it's worth it, if that makes sense. Okay, so up next we have this one. Now, this is the original Hoola bronzer. It's in limited edition packaging, and I say that very loosely because I can tell you right now they bring this packaging out every single year. I think it's actually at least maybe once or twice a year. So I think it's typically around, in the middle of the year they'll have a release, and then usually around Christmas time they'll have the deluxe size as well. As you can see, I have hit pan on this one, and it does come with their little brush as well, which I do actually use this brush. I don't mind it at all. I think it's quite a good little brush. But yeah, so this is their original Laguna bronzing formula. I really, really like this bronzer. I think it's just beautiful. It's very, very, I find like it's kind of like in between Hoola and like Hoola Light and the original Hoola for me, from the Benefit collection. I think it's a perfect in between. It really is such a lovely bronzer. Really great for medium to light to fair skin tones. I think it's just beautiful. The other thing with this as well is you can really, really build it up. So yeah, really, really great quality bronzer. Love this one so, so much. And finally, I've got these little individual blushes here. So we've got, I absolutely love the NARS blush formula. I think that it's just fantastic. Okay, so first up we have got Orgasm. So this one here is one of, like, it's got a cult following. Honestly, this blush is probably one of their best. I'm pretty sure actually it's one of their best selling products of all time. Absolutely love this blush. It's this beautiful, beautiful pink it's got a beautiful pink undertone with gold reflex coming through. It just looks so stunning on the skin. Absolutely gorgeous. The next one I have here is Super Orgasm. So very similar to the first. The only difference is that the gold chunks are, well, they are far more chunkier than the original Orgasm, where it's more of like a finely milled reflective gold, whereas this is actually quite glittery and chunky. So I will just show you the difference. So you can sort of see that the pink is not necessarily as intense, but you can see the reflect of gold. It's more like a glitter sort of reflect or finish. I think this is really, really beautiful, and it's very, very buildable. So you really can build this up, but the color is just lovely. And as you can see, it's not as the pink undertone is not as intense as the original Orgasm. So it's slightly different, but it's just, yeah, it's really, really beautiful. And then finally, we've got this one here, and this is the Taj Mahal blush. It's this beautiful, beautiful coppery orange blush. It's just so stunning. Absolutely love this color. Look at that. Isn't that just stunning? I tell you, this blush through winter, especially if you're wearing like a dark green anything and you know, like a pumpkin-y sort of spice lip, it's just, I have to say, it's one of my all-time favorite blushes. I just love it so much. It's such a stunning color. You know what, it probably isn't the right color for my particular skin tone, but that's the thing about makeup. Like, I honestly don't care. I don't think makeup has any real rules, and I think that when I apply it, it looks really quite pretty and flattering. I obviously don't apply it as heavily as this, but yeah, it's such a stunning color. Okay, so up next we have some products by Hourglass. As you can see, oh look, there's my little outside moment. These are really, really reflective. The packaging is super, super reflective. So I'm just going to actually, no, this might not be any better if I turn it upside down. Kind of. All right, we're going to start off with this one here. So this one here is the Ambient Light Edit Volume 3 palette. Now these ones come out, I believe it's once every, oh gosh, when is it? It's around Christmas time every year. So they include a selection of their blushes, their powders, and their bronzers. Really, really love, 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 love these palettes. I really love them for travel. I also find that, see, like look at that. This was the one from 2 years ago, by the way, guys. So this was not the one that just came out in Christmas time. This was released like literally 2 years ago. So it's still very, very pigmented. I do get a lot of use out of it. The blushes in here are just beautiful. I love them so, so much. Me personally, I tend to use more of these shades through winter. So just a couple of swatches there. So yeah, I personally like to use these shades through winter. The bronzer, again, is really nice as well. Now, personally for me, with the bronzer, as you can see, it has quite a fair amount of shimmer to it. So I personally am not the biggest fan of shimmery bronzers. I typically do prefer more of a matte bronzer, but through the summer, through the summertime, actually, you know, what am I saying? Even sometimes through winter, I do have those moments where I will reach for more of a shimmery sort of finished bronzer. So that's typically where I go you know, I will go for a palette like this. Now with these blushes, they are all existing shades. So you've got in here you've got the finishing powder, the strobe powder, in hypnotic strobe light, the finishing powder in dim light, you've got the bronzer in luminous bronze light, the blush in surreal halo, and the blush in pure effect. So all of those you can buy individually if you wanted to. For me, I just picked this up because I think it's a really great traveling palette, and I really do enjoy the Hourglass formula. These are the only powders and bronzers and products of Hourglass that I own. So I thought this was a really great way of actually, you know, testing out a whole bunch of their products sort of in the one palette, if you will. It definitely is on the more pricier side though, I will say that. So I don't necessarily feel like you get a huge amount of product for the amount that you're spending, but at the same time, if you're using it specifically for like a travel palette or through particular times of the year, you know, if you're using it in the way that I do intend and do use it, then I think it's worth it. Okay, so the next palette that I have, it's part of the ambient collection again, and this one here is the lighting palette, and then in brackets it's got Mecca X Hourglass. So this one here was a limited edition release. So this one here was actually came out for the Mecca Maxima birthday, 20-year birthday. So if you're unfamiliar with what Mecca or Mecca Maxima is, basically it is a business over here in Australia that sells a whole bunch of different beauty brands. So it's kind of, I suppose the best way I could explain it would be it's kind of like a hybrid between, say, your Ulta in the States and Sephora together. So as an example, here in Australia, if you walk into Sephora, you can't buy you can't buy brands like Hourglass, Too Faced, Urban Decay. All of those brands actually have exclusive sale rights to Mecca, so they're not sold over here in Sephora Australia over here. They're actually all sold in Mecca. So because they've been around for so long, they had a 20-year birthday. This was about 18 months ago, and a whole bunch of different brands teamed up to release limited edition products. Now I'm fairly confident I actually have seen this particular palette online on another website, so I don't know whether it was Nordstrom or I saw it somewhere, but obviously they call the blush something different. So I'm sure that, you know, you would have, if you're not in Australia, you're in a different country, I'm sure you would have been able to find this palette somewhere. It just would have been called something different. If you guys actually are watching this and you do own this palette and it is called something different, please comment down below, because I'm super curious to hear what it is in fact called. From where you are in the world. That always intrigues me, how companies, you know, say is limited and exclusive, but it's kind of not really, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so basically what we got in here was the, what did we get in here? The bronzer is the same, I believe. So yeah, we got the luminous bronzer in light. The blush is called Mecca Birthday Glow, and then there's just the luminous light powder as well. So little highlighter there. The blush is really beautiful. It's very buildable. It's this beautiful sort of peachy sort of color. It's just so stunning. I really do love that blush, isn't it? Oh, like, look at it. It's gorgeous. I use it all the time, actually. I really love it. And the bronzer is exactly the same as the other, the one that I swatched from the other palette. So yeah, really great little traveling palette. I do really like this palette a lot, especially that highlight if you're after more of like a natural sort of glow and not like a blinding glow. Yeah, I do find that this as a combination is really quite lovely. Up next, I have my Kat Von D collection. So this one here, I have the original Shade and Light, what is this, powder formula, and then of course I have got the cream formula as well. Now I have only recently picked this one up, so that's why it doesn't look as used. So yeah, I do really need to go ahead and make an effort to use this more, because it does only technically have a 6-month life expectancy. So yeah, and I just don't use it as much as what I should, so I am actually going to leave this out on my vanity to use more throughout the rest of this year, I think, because I need to make a dent into it, otherwise it was just a complete waste. And then with the powders, again, I do reach for them, not as much as what I should. I just have been playing with so many other products lately that I just don't reach for this as much as what I used to. But I have to say, especially if you're like a makeup artist, this is a really fantastic product. There's a lot, you know, you get a lot of diversity in this. You can really make it as light or as deep as you want. You know, it's very, very buildable. I really do like these top powders as well. You know, you've got like your banana powder that everyone goes on about as if it's this new revelation thing, but you've sort of got that in the middle. You've got your lighter powder on the side here, and then this one here, this peach powder, is just so good for neutralizing any kind of like dark circles or anything like that. I really like it for that. So yes, do recommend Kat Von D formula. It is a great formula. I just honestly need to use it more. Next up, we have one of my most favorite makeup artists in the world, Natasha Denona. So this one here, straight on the top, I've got this mini little blush duo. This is just gorgeous. I love this. This is more of like a topper, I find, than anything else. It's quite light, as you can see on my finger there. And then you've got this beautiful, like it's, no, I wouldn't say deep, but it's a beautiful pink color, very with gold sort of undertones. So very similar to, say, like your NARS Orgasm, something like that. Very buildable, both of them are. But yeah, they together, when you put them on the skin together, it's just a beautiful combination. Okay, so the first one I want to take you through is the Sculpt and Glow. As you can see, this is quite dirty, but yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and open this up to show you guys. So this one here, you've got your powders down the bottom and your creams up the top. I really like the fact that they've got this little window here, because it does prevent the powders from getting into the creams, which is just can be so frustrating. For me personally, this isn't my most favorite palette out of them all. I do use it, but it's just, you know, for me, it's just not my most favorite bronzer. For me, it's just a little bit, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's because I'm getting hard pan on there or what the go is, but for me, it's just not my most favorite bronzer to use. I mean, it is a nice matte, cool toned shade, which is usually what I really do gravitate towards, but for me, it's just not my most favorite formula. Same with the highlight, to be honest. This one here, for me, I mean, it does look gorgeous there, but it's very, I don't know whether it's the fact that it's just so subtle or what it is. It's just, oh no, then again, yeah, no, it's not my favorite. What can I say? And then with the creams are good, but again, it's just one of those things that, you know, you really gotta work with it. And if you're somebody who doesn't have a whole bunch of time in the morning or something like that, then this may not be for you. Okay, so next up we have the Diamond and Blush palettes. These are beautiful. So this one here is Daria. Absolutely stunning. So as you can see, it does have that little protector, just like the Sculpt and Glow did for the creams. So you have your powders down the bottom, your cream blushes up the top, and I have to say, the formula in this is just out of this world. So this is the Glow, this actually, like the Glow cream. So this actually feels more, look at that. It actually feels more like a powder than what it does a cream. But it's soft. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but as you can see, it's just gorgeous. It's such a stunning color. And then you've got the powder blush over here, which again is just this absolutely stunning pink color. And so you could see, like, you know, pairing these two together, popping them on top of each other, it just would give you this absolutely stunning pink glow. And then the next sort of part to this, which I find to be really interesting, is the diamond powder. So this is just incredible. As you can see, it's very sort of like, it's very speckly, it's very light, but this on top of your highlight, if you really are basically wanting to glow to the gods, is just out of this world. So that's what it looks like on the finger. And then if I go ahead and swatch it, you can see it just sort of like, you can see how it sort of just dispenses. It's so beautiful, and it's very fine, but it's extremely glittery. I wouldn't necessarily use the word chunky as such, but it is definitely one of those highlights that it looks very, very glittery. So if you're not somebody that, you know, overly enjoys a glittery sort of a highlight effect, this product would not be for you. But it really does sort of, it kind of gives your like your cheekbones that next dimensional sort of look. It's just stunning. Alrighty, so up next we have this is the Diamond and Blush Citrus palette. Absolutely stunning palette. As you can see, very similar to the first. The difference with this one is you have far more goldeny undertones running through this. You've got some beautiful, beautiful peachy colors as well. Again, the formula is very, very unique. So you've got the, what is this? This is the Glow Powder or the Glow Cream. It's like a cream to powder sort of formula. But this is just incredible. It's this gorgeous, it has quite a bit of a duochrome to it. I'll swatch it for you guys so you can see. But it's just absolutely stunning. So now for me personally, would I wear that heavy as a highlighter? No, I wouldn't. But this actually does sheer out really, really nicely. And I'm just going to try and see if I can get it to do that to show you guys. So it does actually sheer out really, really nicely, and depending on the kind of look that you're going for, this actually can look really, really flattering on fair skin tones as well. This blush is one of my absolute favorites. So this is the cream blush. This is just so gorgeous, especially for, you know, those summery days. It's just absolutely stunning. And again, it's very, very buildable. If you want to build that right up, you can do so. Absolutely stunning, stunning color. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and actually pop the powder blush on top of that, you could if you wanted to. This one here I find is more kind of like a it's more of like a blush topper, I think. So I'm just going to go ahead and sort of like pat that on top to sort of see if I can show you guys the sheen. Again, my lighting is not the best, so it's probably not doing this justice at all, to be honest, but it really does look quite nice laid on top. I'll just see if I can just swatch that blush on its own here. So as you can see, like, it is very it's opaque, I suppose. It's definitely buildable. You can definitely build it up, but the pigmentation, the color is definitely in this cream. It's just stunning. And once again, as you can see, you know, you've got the diamond powder here, so very similar to the first that I showed you. It's just a little bit more deeper in color. But again, if I go ahead and pop this on the skin, you can see how it just transforms, and it literally just looks like little diamonds, you know, on top of your skin. It's just so beautiful. It really is quite a lovely formula. So yeah, I really, really love these palettes. I think they're really quite fantastic. Alrighty, so up next I have my Too Faced collection. So starting off with this one here. So this is a single blush. This is out of the Peach collection, and it is the Papa Don't Peach blush. I am absolutely obsessed with this blush. I don't know if you can tell, but it used to have a peach in the center. You can still kind of see the outline. It used to look very similar to this little guy down here. Absolutely love, love, love this blush. So it sort of has little bumps through it. I don't actually quite know what that is, but it doesn't seem to affect the product at all. So if you guys know what those bumps are, comment down below, let me know. But it doesn't seem to affect the performance of this blush or whatsoever. I absolutely am so, so, so obsessed with this. A, because it is buildable, so that if you want a really like sheer sort of, you know, flushed look, you can achieve that. But then you can really, really, really build this up as well. It's just beautiful. And to me, it is that perfect peachy sort of, yeah, sun-kissed look. I just absolutely love it. It's not too pink. It's just absolutely the perfect shade of peach, in my opinion. I absolutely love it so much. And it still smells like peach, and I got this when it very first launched in Australia, which was about 2 years ago. So yeah, it's lasted me a very long time, and it still smells fantastic. So yes, love, love, love this one. Okay, so from the same collection, I have the Sweet Pie. Now this is kind of like a hybrid product. So it's a combination, I think anyway, between a blush and a bronzer. So I think, let me just tell you what it says on the back here. It does say it's a radiant matte bronzer infused with peach and sweet fig cream. Still smells like peaches, which is great because I've had this for about a year now. But for me personally, I use it as both. I use it not only as a bronzer, but I use it as a bit of a blush as well if I'm having one of those days where, you know, I'm having like a no makeup day and I'm wanting to look, you know, like I've got a little bit of colour to my skin. So I sort of use it as both, and I really do like the colour. It is quite buildable. And I just think it has a really lovely finish to the skin. Absolutely love this formula, love this product. I think it's fantastic. Okay, so up next, again, this was from the Sweet Peach collection. I grabbed so much of this when it very first launched in Australia. So this was the palette. Now this was a peach infused highlighting palette. Oh, I did not know it was a highlighting palette. There you go. How funny is that? So I actually used this more as like a blush than a highlighting palette, because I personally wouldn't use that as a highlighter. But I absolutely love the colours in this. So I think that is just such a stunning peachy colour. It's really quite complimentary, especially through summer on my skin tone, I feel. And then you've got these ones here. So this was definitely more of the highlighting finish for sure. As you can see there. Really lovely. It's actually quite subtle on the skin. And this was, I treated more as like the bronzer, which as you can see is almost completely gone. And that's sort of the bronzer there. So for me personally, I didn't use this, even though it looks like I've used so much of it. I personally didn't really get a lot of enjoyment out of this particular product, mainly because it wasn't quite what I was anticipating. Now, I don't know whether that's just because I have so much other product that I gravitate to that I prefer to use. It is lovely in itself, and it's so funny when you go back and play with things that you haven't used for a while. You're like, oh, why did I stop using that? That is actually quite nice. But I mean, personally, for me, I would prefer to sort of use, you know, the Sweet Pie bronzer as opposed to, say, this bronzer. Even though, as you can see, I have used almost all of this. That's just because I don't like product to go to waste. But for me personally, this wasn't necessarily my most favorite item. I also find that, you know, collecting product up onto a brush is quite difficult with this particular palette as well. I don't know why that is, but it just seems to transfer far better with your fingers as opposed to, you know, picking it up on a brush, which again can be quite time consuming and annoying when you are putting your makeup on and you don't necessarily have a lot of time. There are other palettes out on the market that are similar to this that I would recommend over this, to be perfectly honest. So not my most favorite, but it's not terrible either. That's just how I feel about it. And finally in my collection, I have the Sugar Peach Wet and Dry Face and Eye Palette. Now this one here I have only just recently picked up, and I have to say I really enjoy it. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, I have definitely gone to town on Peach Pop a few times. I really do enjoy this palette. I think it's quite universal, and it's very pigmented, and it works beautifully on the skin dry. So I'll just show you. Oh, look at that. You can tell I've used it wet as well. So that's it dry. Absolutely incredible pigmentation there. And then when you go ahead and actually wet these shades, they are just so transforming, and they really are beautiful wet as well. Oh wait, there we go, that one. They really are beautiful wet as well, and they are actually quite different wearing them wet as opposed to dry. So this is the highlight as well. I'll just show you guys. So really stunning colours. Personally, I prefer to use this one here dry, and I prefer to use this one here wet. That's just how I like to use it, but overall I think this palette is just absolutely beautiful. I think the pigmentation is definitely there. The formula is amazing. And yeah, this is definitely a palette that I would highly recommend to you guys. Okay, so the rest of the brands I have to share with you guys are all they're all one item from the brand itself, unlike the others that I've just showed you. Obviously I have a few from the same brand. This is all single items from the brand. So up first I have Style London. Now I received this in what did I get this in? It was a Bella box a couple of months ago. Now I personally haven't actually used this yet. I have swatched it, but I haven't actually used it. mainly because when I swatched it, I personally felt like, and I have to obviously try it properly on my skin, and I do need to do it, but it needs to be a day where I'm not going to be overly sad if it doesn't work out for me, because I just feel like swatching that bronzer, for me, I find that it's a little bit on the muddy side, and I don't necessarily know how nice that's going to be on my skin. The blush is actually quite pretty. I do really quite like this blush. I think it's a very pretty sort of pinky, pastel-y pink colour. But again, it's just one of those things that I'm not going to go through my entire collection just to find that blush, if you know what I'm saying. It's just, I'm just not going to do that. The highlight, again, is very, very nice as well. I do enjoy the highlight colour, but for me, it's just, again, it's one of those things, I'm not going to go through my whole collection looking for this, and I also feel like it's slightly on the deeper spectrum for my skin tone. And then again, you have the banana powder as well, which again, I don't know, I just don't use it, to be honest. I have so many setting powders. I should give it a go. I really, really should, but I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. So yeah, the colours are nice, but I can't necessarily recommend it to you guys because I just haven't used it. So yeah. Up next we have the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. So this is in the shade Light. I have to say, haha, the little applicator is still in the bottom there. Oh, I didn't even know it had a mirror. Look at that. There you go. I did not know it had a mirror. So I have not obviously used the applicator, but I definitely have used this product, and I have to tell you, I love this product. I love the formula. I love everything about it. I think the pigmentation is on point. I think it's definitely buildable, and I think it's extremely flattering for, you know, fair to light skin tones. I think it's just absolutely stunning. Really, really like this bronzer. I really like the formula. As I said, it blends really nicely. It lasts all day. I just really, really enjoy it. And I honestly want to discover more from the brand. I don't own a lot of, this is actually the only Physicians Formula item I actually do own. So I definitely want to try some more products from the brand because I have definitely heard really good things about it. But it's very, in my opinion, I think it's very, very similar to the Hoola bronzer in Light. So yeah, very happy with this one. Okay, up next we have a little Tarte blush palette. So this was the 2017 release. I absolutely love, 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 love this palette. I am so, so happy that I ended up picking it up. I have to say, I think the formulas in these are just fantastic. I love Tarte blushes. I think they're great. And, you know, just to show you guys a few of them, I think they are all very buildable. I think they are all very wearable colors, and still after, that's what, 3 years? No, 2 years almost. Yeah, they are just some of my absolute favorites. There is a little, actually they have two highlights in here as well, so I'll just quickly swatch that for you as well so you can see. Really quite pretty, and it's, you know, you can really sheer that out, so you can make that, can go on very, very lightly if you want it to. And then on the other side here you've got more of your deeper colors, more for like sort of your winter sort of moments, I suppose. But yeah, overall I have to say I love, love, love this palette. I think it was one of my best purchases from 2017. This was called the Blush Bazaar palette. But yeah, I did hear some rumors that apparently their formula, because I know that you can get like the really, well, you used to be able to anyway, they used to have the really big like blush books or something that they came out with, and supposedly the formula in that versus the formula in this was different. So I'm not really too sure because I don't own the other one, so I can't really comment on that. But all I can say is that I am extremely happy with the formula in this palette. I think it performs really, really well, and yeah, I get a lot of use out of it, so very, very happy with this one. Up next we have the Saharan Blush Palette Volume 2. This is of course from Juvia's Place. I love this palette. This palette is just absolutely divine. Beautiful, beautiful colors in here. They are also extremely pigmented, and I have to say this is probably one of my most favorite orangey, peachy sort of colors that I own. I just think it's absolutely stunning. Like, that color is just so, so beautiful. I am obsessed with it. Really lovely little bronzer happening on the side here as well. I don't use it as often probably as what I should, and that's mainly just because for me I find that it's a little bit too warm. It's a little bit, you know, too on the warm side for me. But at the same time, when I do have a tan, I do find that I reach for it more than what I otherwise usually do. You have this gorgeous, what's this called? Solar shade here. Like, look at the pigmentation in that. I mean, hello, good morning, how are you? You know, like the pigmentation in these shades is just next, like it's out of this world. And of course, if you wanted to use that as an eyeshadow, you definitely could go ahead and do so. B is just stunning, and I love this shade through winter. Like, check this out. Don't know why I decided to place it there on my hand, but that's okay. It's just such a beautiful berry wintry shade. It's just stunning. I absolutely love it. So yeah, look, this palette is just for me top notch. I highly recommend Dubious Place to you guys. I have a lot of their eyeshadow palettes and the formula is just literally out of this world. Yeah, it's just stunning quality. You won't be disappointed, I can tell you that. Okay, up next I have this gorgeous little blush topper by MAC. Now this was from their Christmas collection. I'm gonna say it was about 3 years ago now. They did like this whole nutcracker sort of collection. This was the Sweet Vision, and what was this called? A Magic Dust Powder. So I have to say I love this product so much. Firstly, because you can see the stars that are still in there after so much use. I think that's so great. I absolutely love the packaging and how this was thought out. A couple of little cracks up here, but it hasn't raised too much. And the actual product itself is just so lovely. So look at this. Ooh. For a blush topper, that is just, even a blush in its own right, is just so stunning. So it's I liken it very much to, you know, your NARS Orgasm, and even some of the Natasha Denona blushes that we swatched before. Very similar. It definitely has a very clear pink undertone with gold reflect, and it is just such a stunning color. So I really do enjoy using this product. I don't feature it on my channel all that often, mainly because, well, it's limited edition, so I try not to feature, if it's not current, limited edition products, because obviously you guys can't just readily go ahead and buy it. But yeah, I do really like this product, and I'm very happy that I ended up picking it up a couple of years ago. Okay, so up next I have this palette from Makeup Forever. Now this one here was limited edition. It is the Jessie J collection. Now when I say it's limited edition, the only part of this that's limited edition is the actual packaging itself that says literally Jessie J's signature on it. Everything else you can buy individually. So in here we've got a highlighting powder, a bronzer, and a blush. Now I'm pretty sure these are the ones that, well, this is how it came, so I'm fairly confident that she selected these shades to go into this palette, which is kind of cool. I'm very happy with them. I think they're great. I absolutely love the formula. So this is the bronzer. It is very buildable. But yeah, it's a really nice bronzer. And then of course you got this blush over here, which is more of like a pastel sort of shade. Not what I'm usually used to wearing, so I like this because it kind of pushes me out of my comfort zone a little bit when it comes to using more of a pastel-y sort of colour. And you know what, while we're here, I'll just swatch this as well. This is the highlight. Look at that gold. So much gold happening there, but it's a really lovely like champagne-y gold. So yeah, you can really sheer this out and it just looks stunning on the skin. So yeah, very happy with this palette. I'm glad I picked it up. Was it worth $107? I'm not entirely sure. I think so, because these ones here are worth $33 each. Which means that I essentially spent what, like $8, $9 on the actual packaging. So yeah, not too bad, I suppose. And there's a lovely size mirror in there as well. But yeah, this for me is a really great little travel palette. So yeah, happy I picked this one up, and I really do enjoy the Makeup Forever formula. Okay, up next we have this blush by Studio OXX. This is like an in-house Kmart brand here in Australia. I'm not sure if it's the same for you guys over in the States. You'll have to let me know in the comments. But I did do a whole dedicated video to this brand, so if you'd like to check that out, I'll link it up somewhere for you up top to check it out. But this for me is more of like it's kind of more of almost like a highlighting sort of shade than a blush shade. I use it more as like a blush topper, but it is really nice. It's very, very pretty on the skin, very affordable as well. So yeah, I personally use it more of like as a blush topper than what I do as a blush, because I think it's just a little bit too sheer for me. But yeah, overall I actually think the quality of the product's not too bad at all, especially for that price. Up next we have this guy by Maybelline. Now this is the Master, it's called the Master Highlight. I use this as, oh, here you go, highlight bronzer. There you go. I was going to say, I definitely use this as more of a bronzer slash sort of blush. Really love this product. So I just mix it all together just like that and go ahead and apply it. Really, really pigmented. It's definitely on more of like the terracotta-y side. So I personally like to use this when I have a full-on tan happening. I just think it's far more complementary to my skin tone when I do have more of a tan happening. But yeah, I sort of use it as like a blush bronzer hybrid. I really do enjoy the product. I think it's a great product. And really, really pigmented, especially for the price point. So yeah, definitely thumbs up for this one. Oh, getting through it, we've only got a couple left. All right, so next up we have this one. This is by Wet n Wild. This is the Ombre Blush. I am so disappointed by this product. Like, I have to tell you, have a look at that. It looks so very nice in the pan. You know, you've got this beautiful ombre, sort of like peachy color, you know, golden-ness to it. I don't know. I think it looks lovely to me. But you go ahead and you swatch it, and it just is the most disappointing thing I've ever used in my life. I don't even know. I don't even know how that's classified as a blush. Ready? Can you see it? Do you see it? I see my skin. I don't see the actual blush. So I'm really going to go in, as you can see, really, really going in on this product. Like, where are you? I don't see you. It's just, there is, aside from like a bit of a sheen to my skin now, there is literally like nothing there. There is no pigment. There is just nothing there. So I suppose you could almost use this as like a highlighter, I suppose, if you wanted to, but I don't know why you would. And I don't also know why you'd call it a blush when it's clearly not. If you're going to use it as a highlighter, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just, yeah, this was a massive, massive flop, a massive fail for me. I really don't enjoy it at all, which I think is such a shame, because I know that they have a really great highlighting formula, and I have seen other blushes that they have, which makes me feel like I'm sure that they would be maybe better than this particular formula. Just for me, this was a bit of a fail. Up next, I have this incredible blush by Tom Ford. This is one of the only Tom Ford products I own, because let's face it, he is expensive. I do own a lot of expensive makeup, but this is, to me, this is super, super luxury. So this one here is called Disclosure, and it is just, I mean, look at that color. It's stunning. Look at it. Oh, I don't know. I love, love, love this blush. A little bit of this goes a very, very, very long way. It is extremely, extremely pigmented. Like, check that out. Oh, it's just so beautiful, and it just applies so beautifully onto the skin with a blush, with any form of blush brush. It's just so beautiful, and you can really, as you can see, really, really blend it out as well. It's just absolutely beautiful. You can build it right up if you wanted to, but I can honestly say that when that's on the skin with foundation and all the rest of it, it's just stunning. Okay, second last product, and this one here is by Marc Jacobs. The fact that this is not a different color other than white, to me, is incredible, because I use this on the daily. I love, 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 love this product. Firstly, check out how much product you get in this pan. It is insane the amount of product you get. And for me, this is just the absolute perfect shade of bronzer for me and my skin tone. It's just stunning. It's buildable. I wear this just about every single day. I absolutely love, love, love this bronzer. It's just beautiful. Very, very comparable to, say, your Benefit Hoola Light bronzer and the Physicians Formula bronzer. I don't know what it is about this. I just feel like maybe it just lasts a little bit longer, or it's just that little bit, the tone of it's just that next level. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's just the fact that it's Marc Jacobs. I love this product so much. And last but not least, I have this little palette here by Makeup Revolution. I really like this blush palette. So this one here is called, this is the Hot Spice blush palette. And this is what it looks like. So you have some highlights on this side here, and the rest are just the standard blush formula. Absolutely love this formula. I think it is fantastic. It actually, like considering the price point of these of this particular product, these blushes literally last all day. I think that they are really fantastic. Quite pigmented as well. I'll just do a couple of swatches for you guys. But yeah, I really do enjoy this formula. As I was saying before, I do think that it lasts all day, especially if you have, you know, a good base. Can you guys hear that in the background? That's my cat crying to come inside. Oh, can never win when I film. But yeah, so they're just a couple of swatches there. As you can see, they are quite pigmented. And I have to say, again, for the price point, I think this product is just bang on. I think it's brilliant. I'll just quickly swatch a couple of the highlighting shades just so you guys can see. So yeah, these are, well, you could use them as highlights. I personally like to use them more of like as blush toppers if you're wanting to get, you know, a little bit more a luminosity coming through, you know, get that sort of shimmerier sort of blush finish. I definitely would use them for that. But yeah, personally, I sort of stick to these ones here. These are like my go-to quad. Do love these ones as well, but I personally just stick to this side. I don't know what it is, but I love the formula. I love the colors. I think they work really well. And I also love the price point as well. I think it's fantastic. So yeah, very, very happy with this product. And that's it, guys. That is my entire blush slash bronzer collection. As always, thank you guys so much for sticking with me and watching this video. I really do appreciate your support on this channel. If you haven't already, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see some more. And yeah, that's everything, guys. I'll be sure to catch you all on the next one.